What's up, Riverdalians? Welcome back to the River's Edge. I'm your host, Abby, and I'm here with my co-host, Haley. And this week, we are going to discuss something that, and I say this every time, we've talked about it a lot, but I wanted to bring this up because there's a lot we could say about it. There really is. There's a lot to be said, and I am actually surprised that it's not spoken about more. And let me tell you what it is. The difference between the pilot episode of Riverdale, so the first ever episode of the show, versus the last ever episode of the show. There is such a difference. And both Haley and
Yes.
we both just
Just. hmm
rewatched the pilot and the finale back to back
Yep.
today, like an hour ago.
Like, yeah.
Two full pages of notes.
Yeah. Actually, I think I have three, but I have a tinier notebook, so it's okay.
It's just wow. I mean, listen, we are firm believers in if you love something, you got to be able to criticize it a little bit.
Uh,
And, nothing's perfect. Riverdale, in many, many ways, is, and in many ways, is not. And I think season seven as a whole is a great example of that, of things that you love not really being perfect,
yeah.
not really being something that you can just sit back and be like, damn, I agree with everything. I think everything was really great.
Mm,
Like, I have no
no.
criticism about this whatsoever. There's a lot that we have
It's
to
it's
say about this.
it's
So,
very difficult to I've actually seen
yeah.
there is this one guy that watches like the first and last episode of shows that are like long running, and I think he did it with Riverdale, but it was like relatively recently after the final episode had come out, but he watches the first and the last episode and then he like comes up with a whole story to try to figure out what happened between the two. And I
You can't
remember
even link it. It's
he
completely
was
different.
completely stumped by the 50s thing. He didn't get it at all. Like
I
he
don't
was
think anyone
totally
did.
stumped by it. Like he was like, how did they end up in the 50s? Why are they graduating? He thought it took them 7 seasons to get from sophomore year to senior year.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny. Do
Yeah.
you want to start with
That's
the pilot? Like
season one. Yeah,
the
I think we should start
noticed,
with
the
the
things that we
first.
liked about it, the things
Yeah.
that were different from even like the second episode,
Yeah,
because there
and
were
I
a lot of
have,
things.
yeah,
There were a
a
lot of
lot written
things.
down here about this. I actually have a bunch of fun facts written down, and I think I should
Oh,
get that out of the way
yeah, do
first.
that. Do that.
So, first off, this is something that I don't think a lot of people know. The guy who played Dilton in the first episode, they recasted him after
In,
the first
in
episode.
season
It was,
seven.
yeah, in season
hmm
one, he was, or season, the
The
pilot,
first episode.
sorry, he was played by Daniel Yang.
hmm
And then for the rest, up until I guess season six, he was played by Major Curta. But back in season seven, he was played by Daniel Yang again.
Yeah,
So there's a fun fact for you.
that is a fun
And
fact.
also, there's many, I guess we could say cosmetic or not cosmetic, just many differences, like subtle things in the set and
Mhm.
costumes between the first episode, the pilot, and then the rest of season one, and I guess onward.
hmm
There's no R jackets. Like
No,
the jackets
no.
don't have R's
Yeah,
in the pilot. And obviously the school is different.
yeah.
And I think it's the same school because it looks so very familiar every time I rewatch it. I
hmm
think it's the same school that's in many teen movies that are
Yeah.
filmed in Vancouver. This is an Easter egg for people that like the Archie comics. You might have caught on to this. It's actually on the school logo or the crest. And Betty also says it in the pilot that Riverdale High
hmm
opened its doors in
Yeah.
1941, which is
hmm
a reference to the first appearance of Archie,
Yeah.
Betty, and Jughead, their first comic book, which is Pep 22. And another fun fact, kind of related, kind of unrelated to this, is Veronica actually came in a little bit later, which
hmm
is interesting. She was
Makes perfect
introduced.
sense. Makes perfect sense though for them
Yeah,
having her be the new girl.
yeah.
it's
Makes
so
sense.
it's so the comics and people don't
It
realize,
it
but it's
is.
so the comics. And when you know the comics, you realize like the characters are so
Hmm.
right. In
Yeah,
episode one, especially, they're very heavily
they're
leaning into
very
the
right.
comic
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah, Veronica, her first appearance was Pep 26 in 1942, which is the following year.
Hmm.
And another thing that I feel like I always knew this, but I forgot about it and realized it again as I was rewatching it recently. In the pilot episode, Clifford's hair is actually red and it's not a wig. Because after that, he wears wigs. They make this whole big point about how he's got the wigs. But in the pilot, there's no wig, just his real hair was dyed. So there's
Oh, that's
some
interesting. I didn't know that.
fun facts for you. Now we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the key points of the pilot episode, or little things or big things that we noticed, plot holes, stuff that kind of makes you think, when did we go, or when did it go wrong? When did it get to the point that it was in season 7? How did
Yeah,
we get there? So,
I don't know.
I'm gonna start off with this. And I think
Find
the
it out.
format that we should do this is I'll say one thing that I noticed, and then
Yes.
you say it,
Yeah.
and then we'll go back and forth. So I'll
Yeah.
start off.
Currently, I'm trying to find out
Yeah,
what other things the school was used in. But nothing is giving me the right answer, but it's been in a bunch of other things
it
too.
has
The
100%. It
filmed in
looks too familiar.
Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the town sign is obviously very iconic,
Hmm.
and I don't think many people realize how incredible of a reference the town with Pep
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is so freaking cool. That
On
was
the
such a good
nose.
idea because Pep Comics,
Yeah.
if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you, that was before they had Archie, like just
Hmm.
Archie. It was Pep Comics. And so the town with Pep is a reference to the comics, which is really great. I would love to know. I think it was honestly probably Roberto came up with that. It's amazing.
Yes. That's what you noticed? Okay.
That's my first thing.
Okay, that's your first thing. Well, yeah, obviously that's not the only thing you noticed. I noticed that the pilot, like right away, like as I kept watching it, I noticed like how quickly it moves through time. Like no other episode covers that amount of narrative time. And I think it's because it's the pilot. Obviously, it's because it's the pilot. But I feel like no other normal episode covers that much narrative time.
The fourth episode of season 5, but that's different.
What one is that one even? The seven, oh yeah, 7 year jump. But no, it doesn't.
Yeah,
It
that doesn't
doesn't
count.
start. No, but it doesn't start at their their graduating and then end with the 7 year time jump. It starts from the 7 year time jump, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that it doesn't covering that much narrative time is within the 40 minutes. It covers like I think like a couple of days or like a week, it feels like. The amount of days that they go to school. Like and the amount like the dance, like they're at school. So it's first it's like the last day of summer, and then it's like the last night of summer, and then they go to school for like 3 days, and then it's like a dance. Like it covers a lot of time, and no other episode
Yeah.
covers like a week that quickly. There's like time jumpy things, but nothing
Yeah.
else is that fast. And I think it's just
I
because they
guess
had
they
to
got to set
cover,
everything up.
they had to set
Yeah, that
everything
set
up. And
everything up.
they set everything up very effectively. It's a phenomenal pilot. It's an iconic pilot. But I didn't really realize how quickly things moved until I tapped out for a second. And at first I was watching like Betty give Veronica a tour and Archie talking to Veronica at Pops, like when I was watching the beginning. And then I tapped out for a second. And then the last thing I saw was Fred and Hermione talking, and I was making some coffee. And then I turned around and Veronica was saying, "That reckoning is me" to Cheryl. And I was like, holy crap, this moves fast.
Next up, it's so funny. I mean, I know that in the start they weren't really saying what year it was supposed to be, where they were. They had iPhones, but their cars were old. Like it was, they didn't really want to say anything. But one of the first things that Kevin says, he refers to Archie. He says, like most millennial straight guys. Millennial? They
Millennial! I
were,
noticed that too.
yeah, they were born, according to the Riverdale Wiki, before they fuck with their ages with the time jump.
Hmm.
They were born in 2001.
Yeah,
So, how is Archie a millennial? Because he would be, they would all be
because
Gen
he's
Z.
not. They're
He's
like
not a
older, they're all
millennial.
like older Gen Z, yeah.
Yeah, like
Not
they're
millennial.
all older Gen Z. They would not be millennials. Archie is not a
No.
millennial because they made, I feel like in the pilot, and they make such a point. Like they have iPhones, they've got old
Hmm.
cars. They're not telling you what year it's supposed to
But
be,
then they say he's a millennial.
but then they say that he's a millennial. So I don't know. I feel like that was really stupid for them to say that, or
I
for
know.
them to have Kevin say that. I don't know.
I know. And that
But
was like a big thing that people liked about the show, that they didn't tell you what year it
yeah,
was set in. Like that was a big thing at the beginning that people really liked. And they threw it away later. They threw that whole
they threw it away
mystifying
in the
thing
first
away,
season.
but they
Like,
threw it away in the mystifying idea of it because I mean Archie's got like he's sitting up at the table with a MacBook and they have old cars. Like the old cars, they have old cars in Cuba. It could just be a
yeah.
situation like that where they don't get cars or they don't have like a dealership, but that's funny because they do have a dealership, Mantle Motors, but they
I mean, doesn't
maybe
Fred
they
Wright
deal old
2016?
cars. I don't know.
So they're in 2016 in the
They're in
in
like
the
they
first
are in
season.
2016. That was the thing
But
people liked, and they were like, "Oh, the time frame's not specified," but they just have old cars and they have old technology, and I think it's just because they like it in that town, probably. That's the way I'd explain it. They have old cars in Cuba. Oh yeah, something that I mentioned to you before we started recording, I noticed the plot hole between Archie and Reggie's age too, because you also noticed one
oh
that
my
you
God,
met
yeah.
recognize with age as well. Because I mean, they already had plot holes in the first episode that they throw away later. And obviously, yeah, they recast Reggie in the second season, and so it kind of almost like persona resets him as a character. So this is can kind of be disregarded because when they recast him, he kind of gets reset anyway. But in the first episode, the coach is saying, so Reggie is introduced once Archie gets to school, and he's putting stuff in his locker, and Reggie's like, whatever, whatever. He's saying stupid stuff. And Reggie's set up as a character. And then and he's seemingly in the same grade as them. And then in the same, a little bit later, when Archie's at football tryouts and the coach says, oh, we normally don't put 10th graders on varsity, but I'm offering you Jason's spot on varsity, basically. He says, he doesn't say Jason's spot, but he says there's an open spot and he knows it's Jason's. And so Archie feels guilty about it. And, oh, and that's something that I find so interesting too. I don't want to get off track, but the fact that like Archie's also redheaded, and then when Jason dies, everybody starts like seeing Archie as Jason or as a replacement to Jason, even though he's nothing like him at all. I find that interesting because they start viewing him as like a stand-in or like a replacement, even though Archie was like not as popular as Jason. He was younger, apparently, according to what they say about Jason being 17. He was just a little guy compared to Jason. Like Archie was like smaller than Jason, I guess. And then once Jason dies, everybody starts viewing Archie as Jason, which is also very interesting. And they explore that in the first episode. They start to get to that in the first episode with that. So it's the coach says, "Oh, normally we don't put 10th graders on varsity. But we're offering you a spot on varsity." And it's like, "Oh, okay, like he's going to be the only 10th grader on varsity," is basically what that sounds like. But then it's literally like a few episodes later, they don't say it in this episode, but we know that Reggie is on varsity because literally a few episodes later they're about who's going to be captain of the football team, which is varsity captain if they're both on varsity. It's not they wouldn't be arguing if one of them was on JV and one of them was on varsity. So it's varsity captain. Reggie is Reggie a 10th grader? Is Reggie in their grade? I don't think so. I don't think he was supposed to be in the pilot unless that just flew over their heads saying there's no 10th graders on varsity because but then Reggie graduates with them, so Reggie's in the same grade. There's like a plot hole from the beginning, and I know he gets kind of reset in season 2, but it kind of is just like another grade and age thing. I don't think that they thought that the show was gonna run as long as it did. And so I think that's why they did that because they were like just putting those characters and they wanted those characters to be older because they were like tougher, like Reggie and Cheryl and Jason. They wanted them to be older so that they could be more intimidating to the main characters, I think. And then they just threw that away.
Speaking of age, Cheryl and Jason's age. They say in the pilot, not only do they explicitly say that Jason is 17, they say that Cheryl is the senior captain of
Oh,
the River Vixens. So Cheryl and Jason are twins, and Jason is dating Betty's older sister, Polly, who was the same age as Jason.
yeah.
And then later on, so if Jason and Cheryl are the same age, they'd be in the same grade. And I've heard the argument, well, maybe Cheryl got left back. Cheryl did not get left back.
No.
Cheryl did not get left back. She did not repeat a year.
Because then she wouldn't be the senior captain.
Yeah, like that's been the argument
They
I've heard
say
someone
that.
use before. Like they say that, but it doesn't make any sense.
And that never was
The
said. And also, she says she has a 4.0
exactly.
later
So
on. So she would not have been held back.
she was not held back. It's could be attributed to human error.
Yeah.
Somebody
Human
fucked
error.
up.
Somebody
Somebody
fucked up.
fucked up. Somebody made a mistake, and that's okay. Their ages, this has always been something that's really bugged me, the inconsistencies with their years. And this isn't even really related to the pilot, but it can be related to the age thing and the year thing. You know, people always try to figure out what year it is in Riverdale, and they graduated, they were the class of 2020, and
Hmm.
then 7 years happens.
And they
And
say it's
seven
2021.
years, and then Veronica says, "Oh, it's 2021, Chad."
Human error. Human error.
Human
I don't
error
even
is
know how
right.
that slipped through. It was literally like
Like
the next episode.
I know, it's literally the next episode. They have fucking sweatshirts. Haley and I have
I
sweatshirts
know.
from the set of the show that say Class of 2020
2020.
Riverdale
It was a
High.
crew gift. It was a crew gift. How did that even
Like,
slip
oh my
through?
gosh, how did that get through? I don't know. I mean, it says that they're 25 after the time jump happens, and they were born in 2001. The math is
Stupid.
not correct. The
Stupid
math is not
human
correct. If they
error.
were 25 in 2021 and they were born in 2020, I don't know. And they were born in
I don't know.
2020. They were born in 2001.
Oh, they're newborn. Oh,
It's just really funny.
COVID
The
newborns.
age thing. I
I
mean,
know.
I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that where
No.
there's just like how old are they? Where are they? What
I
year
don't
is it?
know.
When did they graduate?
Well, they
Like
clearly don't
what?
care about that very later then, though, too, the time
No,
shit,
no,
because
because then they
it's just a time fuck.
because they fucking erase everything anyway,
I
which
know, so it
I think
doesn't
we
even
should
matter.
shift to that now.
I
But I
had
do have
one
one more
more
thing to
thing. I
say.
had one more thing too, so I'll go again and then you can go again and then we can change,
Okay.
okay? My
Yes.
one more thing was also, so when they're sitting out in the courtyard for lunch, it's so funny. If you look at it, my friend, I had never noticed this, and then my friend who was watching it for the first time because I was forcing her to, in like 2022, pointed out to me. She said she was making fun of Archie because when he's playing his song, it says Archie album, and it's really funny. But they never use that courtyard again, ever. And they also never use the track that Betty and Veronica are on again, ever. In the scene where they're walking on the track, I like how when they start walking, it shows the back of Betty and Veronica's heads. So you can see like Veronica's like black hair and she's a little bit shorter. You can see Betty's ponytail, and it's like I love like all the symbolism of the comics that they put in literally the first episode. It's great. And also, this episode is so heavily focused on Archie. I don't understand how people still don't think he's the main character.
We could be here for a long time on that.
Yeah.
My last thing, and this is not even necessarily to do with the pilot. This is just kind of like a general Riverdale thing, and I guess maybe could kind of be related to the topic of their ages. It's really funny. All of the Riverdale parents were in the same grade, the same year. They were
Which
in
is
like
like,
all the same
okay,
classes.
hey, that's one thing. Them to all be
That's
in the
one
same
thing. Okay,
grade.
that's fine. But then they have babies. All of them have babies the
The
exact
exact
same
same
year,
time.
the exact same time, and all of their kids are the exact same age.
How
Like,
wonderful.
I mean, I get it. The Midnight Club, that was done much later,
Hmm.
but it's just really funny.
It
Like
is much funny because
how all of
Hermione
them,
mentions it in the first episode, like they're when they're talking about like, oh, your
yeah,
son is
that
in
they
the
went to
same
school
grade as my
together.
daughter.
Yeah, but it's just really funny.
It is
Like
funny.
all of them, same year, they do everything. It's like, come on. I mean, I love it though. I think it's really cool that they all went to
Hmm.
school together
It's
and
like
were
they
in the same
planned it.
grade.
It's like they planned it.
Yeah, like they all were like, guys, we gotta have babies at the exact same time. So they're all the same age. It's really funny. All things considered, plot holes, beautiful symbolisms and references and
Cinematography. Ooh.
cinematography. I think, truthfully, the pilot of Riverdale is one of the best episodes of the show.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
absolutely it's one of the best first episodes
Ever.
in
Ever.
television like that I've ever seen.
Yep.
It's wonderful. I think it's fantastic. It's so great. I love it. I will never forget sitting down watching Riverdale for the first time. I
Ooh.
was hooked
Me too.
right from the start. It's an amazing first episode.
Yep.
I
He was
will
looking for the girl
never,
next door.
yeah.
Instead, he found me. Ooh, first Jarchi line, first and best.
All in all, I think it's a great first episode, and actually kind of reminds me of Dawson's Creek a little bit, like which isn't that's another great first episode for TV. Overall, it's a wonderful episode. It
Mm-hmm.
sets everything up perfectly. Sure, there's some inconsistencies, but that's bound to happen between the first episode of a show and like the second, third, fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Like as the show goes on, things get, messed up,
Yeah.
and that's fine. We're not like
Yeah.
shitting on it at all. We're just pointing it out, and we're as people who have watched this episode many, many times over, and this show as a whole many, many times over and over again.
Mhm.
Like there's things that we notice and like I don't know, I guess we're just pointing it out to see if anyone else notices it as well. It's like a fun fact. But that being said, the pilot, wonderful episode. But let's talk about an episode that
Is a
honestly
little not as
was not
great.
so wonderful, and that episode is the series finale. If you watch the pilot episode, going in completely blind to Riverdale, and then you watch the series finale, it is a completely different show. And we just
Yeah.
did that. And I had to kind of maybe turn my brain off a little bit because I feel like that's the only way that I can watch that
Yeah.
episode is
Yeah.
if I turn my brain off a little
I'd
bit.
say so as well.
Um, and yeah, it's just feels very, very, very detached. There's references in there that's like, okay, cool. It's nice. Like they didn't completely ignore everything. There's stuff in there that references the show and what it was
Hmm.
before season 7.
Yeah.
And in very many ways, I think it was a good way to kind of send it off in
Hmm.
its own unique way. Wouldn't have been my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth, or seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th choice of how to end the show. And we're going to talk about that now. So I'm just going to start this off with a point that I think, well, I know Haley can definitely back me up on. Say what you want to say about Archie Andrews and what kind of a character you think he is. Whether you like him, don't like him, whatever. The fact that he is sidelined in the finale of the
Oh.
show that is based on his fucking comic books is nuts. The fact that
Oh.
it's not in his point of view, the fact that he's the only one of the core four to not get a little 70s moment is absolutely asinine. He is sidelined in the finale of his own fucking show. Why? And listen, it's no secret that after a certain point, Betty was the favorite of most people, of the writers, clearly, because it's in her point of view. But if it had to be in her point of view, the fact that it's told from old lady Grandma Betty's perspective
Oh,
is laughable, to say the least. Is absolutely fucking laughable. Grandma Betty. I remember,
it's so
I don't
unserious.
know. Yeah, and I actually have that written down in my notes. Grandma Betty is so fucking unserious. Underlined, underlined, and in all capital letters. In my
Oh,
notes, that's the first thing I have written on this page. Grandma Betty is so fucking unserious. It is just like, I rewatched it and I'm like, the first thing you see, pretty much, or the first thing you hear, is that they're back in their time and Betty's like 86 or something. Like, what? Like, what? You watch the first episode and you would never in a million years think that, oh, it ends with Betty on her deathbed talking to her granddaughter. Huh?
like no.
Like, what?
You'd think,
It
oh,
ends
it
with her
ends like
dying
with somebody
and oh
married
my
with a
God.
baby and something like that. You'd think like,
No.
oh, it ends with
It's
like
it's
Archie
it's
and Veronica,
absolutely
like they moved to
it's
New
ridiculous.
York. They moved to New York and they have a baby. You know, Betty and Jughead also have a baby and she's an FBI
That's how it ended
agent.
in my head, girl. That's how it ended in my head. I mean,
And
holy
they
shit.
are still friends and they're
Oh yeah.
on, they're raising their family. That's how you think it's gonna end. Or even like, oh, Betty and Archie have a kid and Jughead and Tabitha or something. Something like that,
Something.
not 86-year-old Betty on her deathbed talking to the ghost of Jughead that's actually like the archangel. Isn't he Gabriel? Gabriel
I
or is
don't
he
know.
Michael? Is he
I
archangel?
don't know. That's the thing. What the what?
The
What?
angel? Because it's not Jughead, it's just Cole Sprouse as an angel.
I mean, shit. If that's what's out there when I'm that old, hopefully I live till I'm like 100. And if Angel Cole Sprouse as
Yes!
Jughead Jones comes to visit me,
Yes!
the angel of Jughead Jones comes to walk me through, it's like I don't know, man. I don't.
I'd say
It's
yes!
crazy that she's reading. She's like that was our something that the shippers of Bughead had to endure. Old lady Betty reading Jughead's obituary in the
hmm
newspaper. A win is a win? Is it?
hmm
Is it a win is a win?
I
Like
guess.
what the hell? Sure.
Yeah, I was so pissed off when the finale aired because of how much Archie got overshadowed. Like, I remember it's hard not to cry, but I didn't cry because the finale was good. I cried because the finale was bad and my favorite show was ending. That's why. I cried because it was literally shite. That's why I cried because it was a piece of shite. It was shit from a butt, split
I
into
had
a
never
couple of
cried.
shits from a butt.
Like the way that I cried when
hmm
Riverdale ended, I hadn't cried that hard since my grandpa died.
Yeah.
It was
I can't,
bad.
I can't, I, so what had happened for me, that was like the worst summer of my life because my, I was going into sophomore year. I'm newborn. So I was going into sophomore year because I'm a senior now. And my dog had gotten hit by a car in July and she survived, but that was still really traumatizing. And as I was like healing from that, like my me being afraid of my dog like being hurt and like being so upset that she got hurt, then my little chihuahua, he was really old. And one day he got like really sick and then he died too, like really unexpectedly. And it was so bad. And and if you know me, you know how much I love my dogs. And then it was like Riverdale is ending. The thing that like gave me comfort through all of this was the worst thing ever. And I was newborn and it's hard not to cry, right? But it was
Yeah.
just bad. It was just bad.
It
The
was.
first thing I wrote was stupid. Cinematography much cheaper in comparison to the first episode. They obviously spent a good amount of money on the first episode. And then obviously they were
Yeah.
losing the funds, but the cinematography, it's like the cameras got worse. Like it was so much
Everything got
cheaper. It
worse.
looked like a soap opera instead of looking like you know how cheaply soap
Everybody's
operas are
chopped.
filmed?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
I have written here a lot about the hair. First off, they should have just put hair extensions on Betty
Yeah.
because the short hair,
That
like
was
she needed her
chopped.
ponytail.
That was
Sorry.
chopped.
Um Archie's hair, there's like it's weird. Like in the first season, his hair is kind of like more like brownish red, but then it gets redder and redder. But
Then it's
season
orange.
Yeah, and then season 7 is the worst his hair has ever
Ever.
like looked, like the
I
color
know.
of it.
Yeah.
It looks fried. It
It
like
does.
no
It
wonder
really
KJ was
probably
in a rush
was.
to shave his head.
It
He went like
probably
completely
was.
bald after that. But I think the person that takes the cake for having the worst hairstyle in season 7 is
Veronica.
definitely Veronica, which is funny because people tell me, and I feel like we talked about this on the podcast before, but people tell me, oh, well, it's like the comics. Yeah, but that doesn't translate well to real life. If we're going for comic accurate, completely comic accurate hairstyles, we got to put the two little like bumps on KJ's hair. Like
Yeah.
it
The
doesn't
two
work
little
in real
bumps, which he
life.
kind of has at certain points, like the little, I feel like he kind of has it in season 4 where it's like his bang is swooped a little bit like this,
Yeah, but it's like the exact hairstyle is just
like
not
this,
possible. And Veronica's
like this, like,
hair, I feel like they should have just went with what they did in season 6 when they were in like the Sweet Hereafter in the 100th
yeah.
episode.
I
That
don't
was
know
like
why they didn't
everybody's
just do
ideal,
that.
everybody's ideal like hairstyles, except Betty, who her hair was down, but it still looked nicer.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I'm the type of person I prefer like Betty and Veronica with their hair like long, but
Yeah.
still even if she needed the ponytail because it doesn't make sense that they just let Betty's hair kind of do its own thing,
Yeah.
not based on the
When she's the
comics.
one that's like more rigid, like that's more rigid. It didn't make any sense that she was the one that they kind of let go.
I know. And
Because
then
and they were being so
Veronica,
strict about, oh, Veronica needs the bangs. Well, Betty needs a
yeah,
ponytail. A fuck ass
exactly.
ponytail, okay? Not a fuck ass bob.
I know. And Veronica's wig, it just didn't work.
No, and I don't
It just does not
understand why did
work.
they do that instead of just doing like they literally did the 50s in season
I
1.
know, and that looked
Like
good. She looked really good in
that looks
that. I
good, and
mean,
those costumes were good too. His little R outfit, that was good. The whoopee cap
yeah,
on Jughead, whoopee cap, that was
yeah.
good in season
I
1, and then
mean,
in season 7 it was just chopped.
Jughead's kind of the least of my
Well,
grievances with
yeah,
his
he wasn't
look
that
for season
chopped.
7,
He's
except
fine. His
in the
hair was like a
finale,
little
he
bit
doesn't look
short
good.
though. I feel like his hair
No,
should have been a little
it's
bit longer.
his hair. Like I feel like in the first episode of season 7 looks better. His hair in the finale was not great though.
It was
Like
chopped.
it was. I mean, that's like season 7 is so chopped, bro. Everybody's chopped. Everybody's fucking chopped.
Everybody's chopped,
Um,
and it's a shame because they were like
Such a
perfectly
shame.
casted, and
Yeah,
it's
because
they were
they are
perfectly casted
perfectly
to
casted.
fit into the comic books, and it doesn't. They were chopped. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and that's like not a dig at the like makeup, hair people or anything
No, it's
like
just like
that.
the budget. And like
It's just
everything
like,
is going down, and that going down with it is just disappointing. Like, because
yeah, I
everything is
mean,
going down, but at least if the integrity of that was upheld, then it would have been a little bit better.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that Veronica's hair is definitely the worst. It does not translate well to real life.
Yeah,
I mean, I know what her hair looked like in those old comics. That doesn't mean it works in real life.
no.
Because if we're going for exact hairstyles like the comics, then we got to give Archie his butt hair,
Yes, he
his little
needs the
bumpy
butt hair.
two bumps in his hair with the on the
And
sides
brick
black.
black eyebrows instead of
Yeah,
when in season 2 when they tried to dye his eyebrows red, even though they've always been
it's
black.
ridiculous. Yeah, but that I'm glad they stopped doing that because
Yeah,
by season 3 it's like, oh shit, like you came out the comic book, bro. Like you
yeah.
came out like right of the freaking comic book.
Oh, even the nose, the little nose,
Yeah,
perfect.
but I have something else written down here. This is just kind of a general statement, not really
Hmm.
noticing anything. How did they let it get that bad?
I don't know.
I have that in all caps because how did they let it get that bad to the point where the whole show was just erased?
Yep.
How did it get to that point where that needed to happen? I don't know. And I feel like the answer to that, there's so many things that we could say, but we'll never know. We'll never have a set answer to that because I don't even think they know. I don't
No.
think anybody does. And listen, I know that if you tuned in at this point, like if you were just like so happen to skip to this part in the pod and you just hear us shitting on everything, this is from a place of love.
It
And Haley
is.
said something last week like when you love something, you just want the best for it. You want it to be the best that it could be. And
Mm-hmm.
I think what kills us is that we know how good and how much potential
Mm-hmm.
and how not only how incredible the actors are, how amazing they look like the comics. Like there's just so much that could have been done so differently and so much better. And I don't know, I'll speak for myself here. Like I had so much hope and so like I had high expectations because when I found out that they would be doing the 50s and that it was going to be like the comics, I have almost 1,000 comic books
Mm-hmm.
of Archie. I have read so many. I've watched all the cartoons. I am one of the biggest Archie Comics people, like Archie Comics fans that you
Mm-hmm.
could meet. So I was really excited because I don't think many people in the fandom have as much knowledge
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
topic as I do. And so I was really excited to see how they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was watching it, not only did it insult me as a Riverdale fan, it insulted me as an Archie fan. Because the fact that anybody could see that
Mm-hmm.
and think that that is like the comics in like and listen, it is. In many ways it is. But when you're making something and you want it to be a tribute and a love letter to the Archie comics,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot put that slop in front of me and tell me that that is what
Mm-hmm.
that is. Because the most basic things, and listen, I'm not going to be like superhero people who are like really stingy, like, oh, you got the color of the suit wrong. Like, you got Archie and Jughead being friends wrong.
Yeah.
You didn't even have Archie's pal Jughead
Mm-hmm. You
hanging.
had
They have
Archie's,
two scenes
yeah.
together,
You had
and
Archie's nemesis or Archie's rival Reggie. You
Archie's
had
rival
Archie's rival
Reggie
Reggie.
being his best friend instead of Jughead. So
And
that is
I love
also
that
my
relationship,
problem.
but that
Yeah.
is you need to have a balance also. And they if they wanted to explore Archie and Reggie, and I'll say this all the time, if they wanted to explore Archie and Reggie, season 4 was literally right there. And they did it partially in
Yeah.
season 4, but they wanted, well, Jughead was gone. That's the perfect time to explore that because Jughead is gone. And they explored Archie and Monroe, yes, a little bit. They could have also expanded on that. And then they explored Archie and Reggie a little bit because Reggie was jealous of his relationship with Monroe. Season 4 was the perfect time to do what they did in season 7. But no, instead they were like, you know what we haven't done yet? Wow, Archie and Reggie, when Jughead was right there and it was the last season, and their relationship hadn't really been fleshed out in a while since the time skip. And well, in season 5 it was, and when he was living with him, but then Barchi happened, and then that kind of got lost too. It was only Archie and Jughead's relationship was kind of handled in spurts throughout the series. So it was really strong in the beginning, like he was looking for the girl next door and he found me. And the thing was very solidified with like he's the narrator and Archie's his muse kind of thing. That was very explicit even in the pilot when Jughead is like sitting up in the stands and like writing, and also like even just in the first season, like when Jughead is standing at the fence watching the football game and Archie runs up to him. That was very clear in the beginning. And then it was kind of clear. I feel like it's kind of clear in the beginning of each season a little bit almost. Because then
Yeah.
in season 2 too, when Jughead calls him up for the drug run, so that, and then season 3 when they run away together. Season 4, he's kind of there, but he's gone. But the line, "You killed Jughead, you killed my best friend," that line is there in season 4. And and then the beginning of season 5, "You want to go to prom with me, Jug?" "Oh, I'd be honored." And then when they sit together and he says, "Oh, we're good," or they're on the bench, the waiting for the bus, and he says, "Oh, we're good. We always will be." Or what does he say? He says, "We're fine. We always will be." I don't know what word he uses, but it's like very clear in spurts throughout the whole series And then in season 7, they just completely throw it away. And they don't even give it like a closing in the finale.
No,
Like they give closings to other relationships, but they don't give a closing to that one.
to Betty and Reggie and not Archie and Jughead.
Yeah.
Can we discuss that? And I didn't even write that down because that's how bad it's lacking
Hmm.
in the finale that it didn't even occur to me
Hmm.
to say that. But I think that's part of why I hate it so much. And
Yeah.
I'll use that word now. Like,
Hmm.
I really do not like season 7. I mean, that's been obvious this whole time. But and it's beyond just, and when I say that, I think people's minds automatically go to, oh, it's because it wasn't in favor of your ships.
Mm,
No. I mean, is that part of why I'm like not really crazy about it?
yeah.
Sure, I'll admit that. I will not lie to you. I will not sit here and say that part of the reason why I don't like season 7 is because there is not a lot of Bughead and Varchi. That is partially why, yeah. But I think it's more so that I know the potential that was wasted.
Hmm.
It's more so that the relationships that really and friendships that really should have been focused on and the dynamics that should have been focused on were not. And not even that they were just not done enough. They weren't done at all.
Yeah.
And key elements from the comics were just not there. And a lot of people who enjoy season 7 say that it's like the comics. And like I said before, many
It's
ways,
not season
sure,
I feel like the
but
pilot is more
not
like the
really.
comics than season 7 ever was. The
Yeah,
pilot is more like the comics than season 7
this
ever was.
is I agree with that. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. And I think that season 7 is its own thing. And I will always say this, that I don't consider season 7 to be Riverdale. That is my hot take. I don't
Mm-mm.
consider season 7 to be Riverdale. I think it's a standalone thing. It, like when I think of Riverdale, I don't think of season 7. I think that rings true for many fans that when you think of the show, you don't think of season 7. Like it's there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
the odd man out. Season 7
Mm-hmm.
is the odd man out. It's kind of on the sidelines and it's like that one cousin at the party that you just like look at, you kind of don't want to talk to. They're a little funny.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
directed at
true.
any of my cousins, by the way. I have a small family. All of this is not to say that you can't like season 7.
Hmm.
This is just Haley and I's opinion. You can like it. Listen, you can like it all you want. Like I'm not, go ahead. But this is just from the perspective of two super fans is what
Hmm.
this is.
I had one last thing to say about the finale because it's that irrelevant in my brain that I have nothing to say about it except for negative things and nitpicky things, which we could be here all day. But the last thing that's kind of overarching to me in the episode was I had a huge grievance with it because the show is normally really good with like its cinematography, its aesthetics. Even in the later seasons, it's really good with solidifying the setting, the town itself. Like I really like the show because it really immerses you within the town, I feel like, and it personifies the town as kind of its own character in a way that like no other shows really do. I like another thing that comes to mind is like Stranger Things is really, really good with the setting, but it doesn't personify the town in the way that Riverdale does. And so Riverdale stands out to me because it's kind of like the town is doing this to us instead of like in Stranger Things where it's like a random thing. It's like a monster, but in Riverdale, it's like the soil of the town is cursed kind of idea, and I think that's more interesting. Um, but there was a lot of in this episode. It's normally really good with showing the situation, showing the like even with like time jumps and weird things. It's really good with showing the story and really immersing you within the story. But in the finale, all it was just a recap. It was like telling and not showing. And they tried to show a little bit with like the couple of scenes that they had when Angel Jughead was explaining things. But I'm sorry, I don't care about Betty's mom saving a plane. Like, I don't care. I don't want to see a scene of that. I want to see a scene of Archie in his adulthood. I want to close out to the main character of the show, not to Betty's mom. And it's
Yeah.
just so annoying. And
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
just
can I add on to
telling
that before you go
everything.
on? Can I add on to that? So I just have one thing to add. Like, I get why they did that. Like, they wanted to kind of show you or tell you whatever, like all the characters and how all of the characters kind of ended. But I think that Archie should have had more. Like, and I would say the same if they didn't show Veronica or like Jughead or
Oh
even
yeah.
Cheryl in favor of showing Alice. I feel like
Hmm.
before they showed Alice, they should have showed one of the members of the Core Four,
Yeah.
especially it being Archie.
Why
But
did
I
they
get
show
why they
Alice,
did
bro?
it, but he should have had
I get why
a
they did it, but they
bigger,
should have done
you know,
everybody.
they should have done everybody, but
If they were
he
going to
should
do
have had
Alice,
more
they should have
precedence
done
over
everybody.
Alice.
Exactly. And I feel like the Riverdale that we knew, like in the Riverdale in the pilot, never really got a true ending. Like the time skip happened and that's that Riverdale, but I feel like even then it never really got a true ending. I
No,
feel like it
didn't.
could have had COVID not happened and they're rushing the graduation kind of stuff, but I don't know. I feel like it never really, even though it got blown up and shit, like that was when it got outlandish and crazy and st and also like Rivervale kind of screwed it up too.
Oh
Like I
my
don't even
Lord.
know what
Yeah.
universe we're in anymore. And I don't know what happened to the little Archie that I see in the pilot. Like where did he go? What happened to him? Because the guy
We
on the
gotta write a
episode is the
fic
same.
one of these
Oh,
days.
yes.
Like completely disregarding everything past like a certain point in season five.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna kind of rapid fire a couple things now. First off, Fangs' death. I don't care if you don't like Drew Ray Tanner. I don't care if you don't like Fangs Fogarty, but the fact that he died a couple weeks after graduation is
Why
really
did they do
sad.
that?
They tried to do a I think it was like a reference to a real life singer whose name escapes me right now, but there was a
Elvis
real life.
Costello. Was it Elvis Costello? No, he's still alive. Wait, I think he's still
No,
alive.
I think it might have been Richie Valens.
Oh, was it supposed to be Richie Valens and
I
Buddy
think
Holly
so.
and the Big Bopper? Yeah.
Yes, I think
Not
it was supposed
Elvis
to be.
Costello. It was
No,
yeah,
I think
it's
he's
supposed
still
to be
alive.
he is still alive.
Yeah, but I
Richie
get it. It was
Valens.
supposed to be like a
The
reference,
day the
but
music died. Yeah.
like, come on. It just really, I mean, I feel bad for Fangs. He had to wait in the sweet hereafter with Julian Blossom. Like, he was like the first one there. He's like,
With fuck
fuck.
ass Julian Blossom.
Like, like Julian Blossom. Come on. And now another rapid fire thing. Tom and Frank were not in the sweet hereafter. Does that mean they went to River Hell?
Probably.
They went to River Hell.
Because they were gay. Oh!
Interesting. And you have to
Also, that
follow
was
that
the
up
most
with, you
fucking
have to
random
follow, hey,
thing.
you have to follow that up with the fact that you are too.
Oh,
Otherwise, people
oh,
might get the wrong idea.
oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm gay. I, that's the most fucking random thing that they could have ever done on that
They
show.
went to River Hell.
That was the worst
Um,
thing ever,
yeah.
making them
Uh,
gay. That's so
rapid
stupid.
firing still. Because I have so many things written here that we didn't get to talk about. And then I have my big last point, which you are going to agree with me on. Jughead being Betty's guardian angel person. I don't know. Either way, Bughead for the win. There's that. Um, Betty does not have dementia or Alzheimer's. Just
No.
not. It just did no because Jughead doesn't have any type of memory loss, and he asks her, "Oh, any regrets about not getting married?"
Yeah.
Which means she didn't get married, which means she's not the Modesto wife, and even if it's not Veronica, still not Betty. Anyway, there's that. Pop's closing, really stupid,
Really dumb.
really, really dumb. And from the looks of it, Riverdale High looks abandoned as well. Why? That's
Hmm.
really sad. What
Yep.
happened? Where did they
Yeah.
all go? They all go
Can
to
you
Stonewall Prep?
explain to me, please?
Like, okay. And I still can't watch the last scene without crying, though. All
Yeah.
things considered, I
Yeah.
still cannot watch that scene of all of them waiting in heaven for Betty. I mean, it's just so sad. It's so like I cry every time. I've only seen the episode three times, because I can't stop crying at that last scene. I
Yeah.
still can't listen to that song
You'll
without
always be
crying.
among friends.
We Belong Together.
Hmm.
I cannot listen to that song without crying.
Hmm.
I mean, when I like after that episode, I was like, when I die, like God forbid, anytime soon, when I die, I want that to be where I go.
Yeah.
Like I'm so serious. Like I just think it's so sweet. Like they're all just waiting for her. Everybody's so happy to see her. Like I want that. Like I could cry thinking about it. Like it's like nice. I mean, all things considered,
Hmm.
I think it's still really it's like, of course I would have preferred the last scene to be all of them like in somebody's living room having a drink. Like,
Yeah.
damn guys, we've lived really good lives, huh? Like
Yeah.
instead of all of them being like, yeah, guys, we're all dead. Betty, it took you
I
86 years
I know. Oh, I
that you've been
literally,
here. Oh my God.
do you want to know the thing I cried the most at? Which
What?
is actually dumb.
What?
Well, it's not dumb, but it was literally just the line when Betty was telling Archie what happened to him, and she said you were buried right next to your father.
Oh,
Ah,
it's just it's
instead of being like, oh, I want to be buried next to my wife, it was like, I want to be buried next to my dad. Like,
yeah, he can't be buried in Hollywood Forever Cemetery, Haley.
no, no,
Next to his wife.
yeah, no.
This is the last thing, and this is gonna kind of wrap it up. The quad. Oh,
I
I wish you
forgot.
could see the way I just
I
like regurgitated that answer. The quad. Um,
forgot.
what
Why wasn't Archie
the
and
fuck?
Jughead shown? What the
Well,
e-fuck?
this is gonna be something I never said this publicly, but I have the real script,
Mhm.
like from season 7, and some of what's
Oh,
in
oh,
my series finale script that I have that's a real one that was Casey Cott's. And fun fact about this, the only thing that's underlined in Casey Cott's copy of the series finale script is the word Lizzo. And I think it's Tony saying it.
oh.
Nothing is highlighted, nothing is drawn. The only thing that is underlined or circled, I can't remember, is the word Lizzo.
Does he like Lizzo?
Probably because it's funny. Because in Greece, is like, what's her name? Rizzo,
Rizzo.
and they have Lizzo. But
Lizzo.
anyway, there was a mention like Reggie asks Betty during their scene in the gym if Archie and Jughead ever, and Betty says that she doesn't know. But
That was cut from me.
that was cut.
And then they had
Yeah.
some stupid fucking reason. Oh, we never set that up. So I felt like we didn't have to do that because we never set that up. Yeah, maybe not in the 50s because you were having him canoodling with Reggie. Maybe not in the
Oh
50s
my
because you were
Lord.
doing it with Reggie instead of with Jughead, but it was definitely set up throughout the entire show. And I don't get me wrong, I like Archie and Reggie, but Jughead are not having the core four be together in a polycule, which is something that I predicted many times before this happened. And that was my way out of to whizzle out of it too. And it was the pussy's way out of them to whizzle out of it. And then just completely not even giving a lick of mention to Archie and Jughead when the entire show there were little things that
Boo.
were setting up a Jarchi long con, and then he chickened out at the last minute.
Yeah. I mean, the quad, like you just said, I don't like using that word,
Is the pussy's way
but
out.
yeah, I was. It was a coward's way out. It was so they didn't have to make a set choice, and so they could have an open ending. And I kind of go back and forth. Like sometimes when I talk about it, people ask me about it. I'm like, well, I guess it was kind of a good thing because they could have just picked ships and it could have just been like dumb, forced um
A
answers, I
forced
guess.
kind of ending, yeah.
Like it could have just been like literally last episode they just threw two people together out of nowhere
Hmm.
and
It
forced
could have
it.
been Betty and Reggie, like,
Yeah, like they could have just been like, here, damn. Like, like suck it up, whatever. Like they could have done that, but they didn't. And so I think the quad and oh my Lord, I see all these people out the fucking woodwork saying, "Oh, this is a great ending. This is so great."
no, it's
No, it's not.
not.
No,
It
it
would
is
be a
not.
better
No, it's
ending. It
not.
would be a better ending if there was a scene of Archie and Jughead kissing.
Because then that would have made it like, okay, like damn, everybody was getting it on. But like what? I mean, I have written down here open ending,
Open
which
ending.
is I mean, let's ask the viewers. We've asked this question before, but what do you think about the final the final episode of the show?
Share with
The
us in the
ending.
comments below.
Yes, please. I've been meaning to say this. A follow on wherever you are listening to. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you are on Spotify, follow. Apple Podcasts, follow. Comment. If you're on Instagram, on TikTok, we're on there too. I'm running the socials over there. Please, it would mean so much to me and so much to Haley if you would just give a little something something for us. That would be, it
Yep.
would go a long way for sure for us.
Yep.
Please. For me. I need you to do that for me. Please. Well, this has been wonderful, Haley. And if you guys made it this far, this has been a bit of a long one. Thank you so much for listening. We release new episodes every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you,
Yep.
Riverdalians, for listening. We love you. Bye bye. Until
Good.
next week.
Yay,
Next
that was
Riverdale
good. That was
Wednesday.
good.